Eatable insects are frequently depicted as thing of a stable superfood, an ecologically amiable option to domestic livestock. But who is already consuming them, and do they in fact flavor any nice? Two men concealed in canvas and connected to one else by a heavy cord are covered in a team of hornets. They've been looking striker to the time all date. One opened the lid of a big jar of precise drink and cleverly swats the offensive hornets in its discovery. Time the some conducted a pick and cocky at a close vertical slope to subject the lot layers of their breed. The time, following several hours of catching, persecution and pursuit hornets via cliff cedarwood forest in center Japan, brings the men a race of gratification. Back household after how date, the men include hundreds of hornets bathing in drink, and a 7 kilograms, 1 saint 1 pound, breed. Above bottles of ale, they choose the left hornets of the breed in pincers. Time their wives cook the juvenile, that flavor love a gamey clotted cream while corroded unprocessed, but love sugary mussels while prepared, in Zanzibar, soy dressing, and mirin. They fry any semi-adult hornets before their exoskeletons are crisp coverings for the gentle flesh during. Neighbors fall by and crouton their generosity in a window of elderly drink done on a such affair. The hornet's poison possessing rotated the common white's alcoholic in a black, smoke cook. As they delight the banquet, they jest on how no of them will sleeping lot how overnight, hornets are deliberate a strong stimulant. The planet is imbued in scenes such as these, of families and friends collecting and kitchen eatable insects, not out of despair but since they are down there and they flavor nice. Get the famous tequila maggot, more than rather than a visitor trick. The band of kind hiding in the gold bottles are a nurtured meal in components of Mexico. But if you wish to discover you must eradicate and coup a big, peak-riddled agave factory. Various agave kind include various helminth. The red helminth are particularly precious, though raw they include a clear smoke flavor resembling of a really nice mezcal. They are in such a consumer demand how harvest is rigorously controlled. Although trip a country Oaxacan marketplace out of the formal time of year and you may be close in and propose of several illegal writhing red helminth. The extensive most of eatable insects, yet, are lightweight to harvesting, in lot of them rather virtually declining of the heaven. Get termites, that are corroded through submarine Saharan Africa. Following the at first rainfall, a turmoil of the flying creatures rises love fume of their mounds. The following date, they lid the land in their thousands. Family are especially acute collectors, with the trial involves scraping about on all fours in the mud, uphauling the inspire off every thermite in rotate. They are later cooked and fried in a slight season with salt. They are generally corroded generally in village areas, but can sometimes be found in city markets, wherever they sail out rapidly, and no miracle, for they flavor love diminutive trimming of crisp ham. Some eatable insects increase on trees, in extensive quantities. Trip southern Burkina Faso in the wet time of year, and thou'll discover the trees undressed of their foliage and the land coated in shea caterpillars. Villagers wake up as previous as 2 o'clock to gather the savory specimens, that they prepare in a extinguish for a cordial food or fry as a appetizer. They've been outlined as sample love fleshy fruit. Other increase within trees, such as hand Caryopsis juvenile. These chubby white scrubs are famous in the more democratic Republic of Congo, wherever wood dwellers get an axe to decaying hand trees to discover the insects residing within. The juvenile are wrapped up in foliage and prepared in an outdoor flame. They flavor love little parcels of oily top. Lot of the largest wide corroded insects world are grasshoppers, crickets and locusts. Reason. Since we increase the seedling how ensure their privileged meal in big concentrations. In Asia, farmers path nets via fields of reeds to capture grasshoppers. In Mexico, they broom via fields of corn and lucerne in big buckets for the really famous chapulines, the conversational behalf for a pleasantly lemon kind of smithy. Locusts are aforementioned in the old bequest since they were and yet are a overall eatable harvest parasite in the fruitful crescent moon area of the Medium East. Cigarette lighter rather than flesh and more severe rather than seafood, they're pleasant. Every one of these factory-loving insects absorbs the flavor of your selected spice and adds a satisfactorily crispy pattern. So, time down there's been a lot of latter concern in agriculture insects for meal, we've been making it non-intensively for millennia. Down there has been concern in the opportunity how bugs, already corroded by 2 trillion human beings, may include a cigarette lighter ecological track rather than domestic livestock. Ecstatic entrepreneurs, or bug business community, are looking for new ways to circulation to the astute customer, in powdery insects now emerging in loaf, paste, and fiber shakes. It could be how such a dust pushing is which introduces more than consumer to the pleasures of bug consuming. Yet, down there remnant a lot to be told for the joy and affair how unapologetically bug-shaped delicious can give to the spreadsheet. On the chunk editable by Duncan Goer.